What the fuck?
Jay, bend over.
Me.
Oh, jeez. Riley.
Good evening, chocolatiers. Welcome back to Oktoberfest 2025. We're keeping that spooky train rolling, and today's review is a pretty big one. So we're going to be talking about Shelby Oaks, written and directed by Chris Stuckmann, produced by the legend Mike Flanagan, and distributed by Neon. So what is the movie even about? Because I really didn't know fully going in. Shelby Oaks follows Mia, who is still haunted by the disappearance of her sister Riley, who led a YouTube ghost hunting crew called the Paranormal Paranoids years ago. And Riley and her team vanished after investigating this creepy place called Shelby Oaks. And now, years later, Mia gets a visit from a random guy who shows up at her house saying, "She finally let me go." And he's like, fucking, you know, and he's holding a tape labeled Shelby Oaks. And that scene is crazy. It's really good. And that tape reignites Mia's obsession with finding out what really happened to her sister and leads her down a rabbit hole involving demons, memories, and things that blur the line between reality and nightmare. So I do want to start out with the good, because as I've said previously, try to be mainly positive around here, even the stuff that we don't really love. So I actually do think there's a lot of positives, though. Once again, don't hate this movie. I just think it's fine. So first off, the performances are excellent, especially from the lead actress. She absolutely sells the emotional core. You feel her grief, her paranoia, her desperation, especially like when she's trying to communicate with her husband. He's just like, get away. And the supporting cast, especially people like the husband, some other people, like Keith David's in this movie, for example, like very brief, are really great. Chris nails the tone of some of the VHS segments. They're really, really cool. They feel really lived in, really old from that aesthetic. Then there's the cinematography. For a first-time director, this movie looks beautiful. There are so many eerie, atmospheric shots, and it feels cinematic and confident. And the lighting and the framing is all really solid. You can tell that he took notes from filmmakers like Flanagan, who helped. But it still feels like his own visual voice. And I'll give credit where it's due. The sound design and tension building are excellent. There are sequences where the movie is genuinely unnerving. It doesn't rely on cheap jump scares stuff like once or twice. But there are majority of leading dread, crawling under your skin type of feel, right? Now, let's get to the mixed and the messy for me. This is where the issues started to come in, because while this movie looks and feels like a horror movie I should love, that script really holds it back. The story is just okay, and I feel like a story carries a horror movie, especially one like this where it's not super scary. The pacing and the structure kind of where things are falling apart. So the first half of Shelby Oaks, I feel like is great. I would actually probably give that like an 8.5. It's a slow burn in the best way. It's creepy and atmospheric, subtle clues. You got some senses of unease, Mia and her obsession. But the second half really drops it. It's so rushed. Like the first half takes forever for anything to start. Then when something starts, it's like, oh, the end, credits. I said, what? So we spend like an hour building up mythos, lore, mystery, and it just feels like once the third act hits, it hits fast forward. It flies by so quickly that it feels like we're missing entire scenes. The big emotional and supernatural payoff that the movie's been promising just, I feel like, doesn't land for me. You know, like when you play a video game, for example, you're grinding through all the levels just to get to a final boss, and then let's say the boss, you hit him twice and he died, and you're like, I did all this for what? It's also got some lore that's introduced and then never fully explained like it is, but I just feel like there's more cool ideas here than, you know, what we actually get on screen. And look, I get it. This is his first movie for a debut. This is actually impressive as hell, but I feel like that writing, specifically the screenwriting rhythm, needs some tightening. Some scenes drag on way too long, especially in the earlier scenes. And I feel like you're fine with that, but it feels like a puzzle that's missing a few pieces. I do think that you can feel that potential there, though. You see the ambition. You can tell this was made by somebody who loves horror, who studied it, especially films. And it sticks with you like certain scenes do, but just not the whole movie. Because there is a passion all over this thing. The emotional undercurrent about loss and obsession really works. The atmosphere, like I said, really works. The performances are really good. It's just that story. Like, you're sitting there for like almost 2 hours, and I just don't care about what's going on because the story's just not strong. And it honestly kind of reminds me of when Racker Brothers came out and did Talk to Me. That's the bar I was really hoping this was going to hit it, because I love that story. And instead, Shelby Oaks feels more like a strong first step. It's a good movie that hints at greatness but doesn't fully get there, right? And so I feel like at the end of the day, I respect the hell out of this movie. I respect the hell out of Chris for pulling this off. Going from YouTube critic to feature film director isn't easy. I've made some goofy movies myself, and they don't look anything this good. So he's got some style, he's got some back, he's got some vision. But like I said, if I'm being honest, I think Shelby Oaks is just okay. It's not bad. Like, it's not like people are literally acting like this is War of the Worlds. Like, I'm seeing people like, oh my god, like, no. If that's the case, you need to watch more movies this year. There's been some bad movies this year. This isn't bad. I think the performances, cinematography, tension are all top notch. But like I said, that writing really boils it down. The third act is really just okay. But for a debut film, it's a solid 6 for me. I think The Foundation and Chris's next movie could really be something special. So once again, congrats to Chris and the team, Neon, Mike Flanagan, everybody involved for getting this made, because I'll absolutely be there for whatever he does next, because why wouldn't I? I'm just saying you can improve, right? I don't think that this is a 10 like people were hyping up to be, but I also don't think it's a 0 either. Like I said, it's a 6 out of 10. And so with that, that's going to do it for Oktoberfest today. If you've seen Shelby Oaks, let me know what you thought down below. Did it work for you? Or were you in the same boat as me? And if you like this review, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because we've got plenty more horror goodness coming your way all through October. And this has been Mr. Chocolate. And yeah, actually tomorrow we're covering Halloween 78. I should have a Chainsaw Man review up, a Bruce Springsteen review up, and what's that other movie that came out? The Regretting You movie. Last year's Colleen Hoover movie didn't really do much for me, but once again, we're not biased. Maybe this one will be good. I actually like everybody in it. Mason Thames, Dave Franco, that chick from Get Out. I don't never know her name. And then McKenna Grace. Everybody loves McKenna Grace. So with that, like, subscribe for more. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bodies were found outside of Shelby Oaks.